But we cannot also allow Netflix to come from Netherlands to violate rights of citizens of this country. Because should we allow this broadcast to proceed? We are simply saying an international company can come and violate the rights of our people. I am sorry to say this, but I will have to say it because it's in my mind. We are also having another Jan van Riebeeck coming in a camera form rather than a gun this time.
Nearly 3 years after the dramatic revelation that convicted murderer Thabo Bester faked his death and escaped from the Mangaung Correctional Centre, the trial is entangled in a procedural mess. The year began with a February trial date, but that wasn't to be. The Free State High Court was told that Bester wants a laptop behind bars and that Nandipha Magudumana is awaiting a Supreme Court of Appeal judgment on her challenge of her deportation from Tanzania.
It will have an adverse impact on a mental and psychological, physical state. However, she remains optimistic that the legal challenge that she has waged with regards to her unlawful arrest in Tanzania, it's a challenge worth a while, and should pursue it till the end, till the highest court in the land, and that gives her hope.
Mhlowung adds that he's still unhappy with Magudumana's treatment.
She still has, the same equal protection of law. She laid a complaint with the police, the assault that took place there, where she was assaulted by a mentally challenged fellow inmate. Laid charges against the culprits. Until now, a year later, nothing has come out of that, case.
But does the state have a watertight case?
The people that is currently in the dock is not sufficient for them to say how was a prison unlocked at night, because there was no forced exit where Thabo most probably cut bars and broke windows to get out. Doors were unlocked. So I think there's more role players that needs to come to the table in order for the state to prove their case. Otherwise, they might have difficulty or an uphill battle in proving all those charges.
The Correctional Services Department also had to detail its plan of action to comply with the recommendations of the Public Protector's report into Thabo Bester's escape.
Some of the action plan and the activities are ongoing because it's things that we must continue doing as a department in making sure that these policies are fully implemented.
Inmates are finding innovative ways to escape, and their ways of escaping varies now and then. Key to this escape are the negligence that our officials are doing in terms of non-compliance to SOPs and strategies.
However, committee members were unimpressed.
What happened to timelines, specificity? Is this just, it felt very much like a tick box exercise.
The initial PowerPoint presentation was short and sweet, but of course it was not so sweet what happened with the escape of Thabo Bester.
The reality in most of our prisons is corrupt officials. I don't see much being said about the officials that aided and assisted with this escape.
From this entire presentation, an exhaustive presentation, there's absolutely nothing in there. It's a primary school presentation.
The Commissioner insists the department is doing the best it can with limited resources.
So you will find in some correctional facilities there's a fence, but we don't have a dock unit that will do that work. You find in other correctional facilities there's a fence, there's a dock unit. You don't have patrols because we don't have enough vehicles to do that, and the staff in any case, our security staff is not enough to carry those. So I want to repeat again, we do with what we have.
DCS is in an ongoing legal battle with the prison's owners. It wants to permanently take over the facility before the contract ends in 2026. In June, Bester was still demanding access to a laptop.
Not need an internet here because the docket has a memory stick. That's it. All that we need to do is to download and for him to look at it. Where's the internet? Where is the risk? I think South Africa also wants this child to start. We all want it to start, but it can't also be at the risk of our client, because then we will be failing him.
I'm interested to know if Mr. Bester has told you what he was doing in Tanzania.
No, we have not even touched that because of the fact that we can't consult.
It's unfair for these people that are sitting here as my so-called accused to be in court when I know very well.
The SCA failed to rule in Magudumana's favor, forcing her to take her fight for freedom to the Constitutional Court.
She was dismayed. I wouldn't lie. She was dismayed. She would have expected a different outcome. But she is resolute and she's determined to forge ahead in her quest for justice. And it is for this reason that she gave us instructions to, file an application for leave to appeal.
In a surprising twist, the state withdrew charges against another accused.
I'm going to withdraw the case against one of the accused. I think then we can excuse him and he can go in. And that is against accused number 5, Motinyane John Masukela.
Masukela spoke of the case's profound impact on him and his family.
Yes, I'm so relieved and happy that this matter is finally over. I've been going through hell since the day of my arrest on the 18th of April until I got bail and the charges were dropped against me. It takes a toll on my family. We've been suffering a lot. But fortunately, I had the support of my family. They've been supporting me from the day one of my arrest up until today. Yes, so I'm so happy, so delighted that this matter is finally over.
I know you've been maintaining your innocence in this particular case. Are you able to take us back to what the state charged you with and the day in particular when Bester escaped? Were you on duty? What do you remember about that day?
The day of the escape, I was not on duty because I knocked off at 3 o'clock on Monday, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the following day, on Tuesday, 7 o'clock at the debriefing, that's where we briefed about the inmate who have committed suicide.
Why do you think they thought you were somebody who assisted in this matter?
Yeah, what I can say is they thought that I was part and parcel of this whole thing. I was accused of assisting with the cops, allowing the vehicle into the prison that was going to drop whatever. I was not even aware of that because I was distracted on my where I was working. Yeah. So I even called the supervisor to come and assist me. Then the supervisor was called somewhere to respond to an incident. That's how the van managed to get in. But I didn't allow the van to go in.
Meanwhile, Katlego Bereng's family is still searching for answers. His body was the one set alight in Bester's cell as part of the elaborate escape. As it stands, here's who's in the dock. Accused one Magudumana is said to be the mastermind of the escape. CCTV technician Thabo allegedly switched off the cameras on the night of the escape. Former G4S supervisor Sinuhe Matswara is accused of recruiting the role players and supplying the decoy body. Magudumana's father allegedly hired the car that transported the decoy body. Diego Makotsa is a former control room operator accused of opening the gates. Bester is being held at Khosimampuru prison in Pretoria. He continues serving his life sentence for murder and rape, and he faces fresh charges for his escape. Zimbabwean national Zanda Moyo is accused of helping Magudumana claim Bereng's body from a mortuary under false pretenses. Julma Kheta is a former security guard accused of assisting in starting the fire in Bester's cell. In July, Bester's legal team attempted to challenge his restrictions behind bars again.
The directive determined this issue. You still leave the parties with the unresolved issue. Is this complaint civil or criminal in nature? What you actually do is simply to say that the applicant's objection to a civil court is dismissed, whereas there was such no application. So that is then the effect. It's a grave injustice.
The state says Bester has no prospects of success in another court.
This applicant is a disgruntled litigating party because the court made an order with which she does not agree. That's not bias. Nothing in this judgment shows bias. It's a very dangerous.
In August, the release of a Netflix documentary trailer launched another legal battle for Magudumana and Bester. Was Miss Magudumana actually aware that her father was going to take part in this documentary?
She was not aware that the documentary is being made by Netflix, and neither were the attorneys. What they were aware of was that there is a clip that the production company has recorded when Nandipha's dad is making gruesome statements on the case. That's it. Because at the time, the relationship was just with the production team. They didn't know who would be the buyer of the product after the production. She is disturbed by this information because she also just got to know about it while she was in her cell, and she just heard the voice of her dad. And when she quickly went to watch, it was now about the beauty and the best and the voice of her dad holding her picture that broke her heart. She's a mother, and her stress is, how are the kids feeling when they hear this statement being made by that grandmother? So it must not be easy as well on the kids, and it's not also easy on her. And to even take it further, she basically feels as if the dad was misled. Where were the dad's attorneys?
are expecting to see the trial. In the absence of this dumping of this version of the co-accused that must have impact on the co-accused in a common purpose crime, she would have enjoyed this right fully without fear.
It is therefore unacceptable for her at the last minute to turn around and say, I don't know what you are doing. What she has actually done, she was represented by Mr. Mgudlu, power of attorney, and they signed their contract under legal advice. Now, at a later stage, she's turned around and changed. We submit, therefore, that it's fair for Netflix to say, we worked with you along the route. We are now ready to publish, and you should not be allowed to stop us from publishing.
Ultimately, media freedom won.
I find that the application is not urgent and it is struck on the roll.
In what would be the final case management sitting for the year, the court was told Bester is juggling at least 6 separate legal battles. He wants to be reclassified as an awaiting trial prisoner and is also demanding access to a laptop and classified information.
Access to information application has got direct impact to this trial because we have documents, classified information that we want to prepare for our defense. That will include some documents that are in possession of the President of the Republic of South Africa. That will include the phone records of some of the politicians. I can name Mr. Ronald Lamula. That will include also some of the classified information of national intelligence. Yes, those are the things that we want the court to order.
Magudumana's constitutional court application challenging her deportation from Tanzania is also outstanding.
That is why I would suggest that we've got to have another case management trial, my lady. We've arranged a date amongst ourselves. It's the 18th of March. And then I think while Mr. Motlong is present, just put it on record. And I think really by the 20th of July, the third term, everything is supposed to be finalized. And we would like to put the whole third term aside for this trial. It's the 20th of July till the 18th of September, my lady.
And this was Lamula's response to Bester's pending application for his cell phone records.
But once I receive the papers, I will look into what is raising. Then I will refresh my mind to be able to respond.
But you'll comfortably give over your phone records because you've got nothing to hide.
No, I mean, that will consider as when we receive the papers. I don't know what he wants the phone records for.
Okay.
I have no idea. And I mean, my phone records are my phone records. I will have to decide whether I want to give him or not. But I really believe it's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the case. I don't know how it will even help him, whether it's even necessary.
At the same time, Magudumana's father says his daughter fears Bester.
She's even very scared now. Although he's in Mampuru and Pashi and Costa. But when you talk about that, get away with this man. She shivers and say, hey, you don't know how this involves us. Yeah, there is a scam. I think there are people and very high profile people who organize, and she had to be used as a scapegoat. She's a scapegoat. And they got a chance of how to use her, manipulate her, all that.
What was expected to be one of the most consequential criminal trials of the decade has become a case study in legal obstruction, administrative fragility, and the limits of the state's capacity. Another year goes by and we are nowhere near the start of this trial. We now wait to see what lies ahead. Slindelo Masikane, ENCA, Johannesburg.